Hey there everybody, welcome to the Game Vault. I'm Captain Beefy. This is Diablo 4. For all you fellow wanderers out here, I want to show you my ice sorceress build. I call her the Frost Witch. So let's cue up the music and get right to it. Alright, we're going to go take a look at her in combat here. And what we're going to do is try to take on this nearby, what's it called, a stronghold. And in the Fractured Peaks area. This is World Tier 1. We're just fooling around with this guy. Like I said, it's not super powerful. But it's a lot of fun to play this one. I like it. Basically, we can cast unlimited amounts of Blizzard over and over, controlling crowds, freezing them, chilling them, making them vulnerable, and then destroying them. Got a little get out of free card in there too. I'll show you all the different
this place is overrun.
All the different spells I have lined up, and it's a work in progress. I'm looking to get this thing to be powerful, not just fun. And I think it's doable. As you can see how it works. We're basically using a combination of X and L2. X is our regular little ice spell there, and R2, or L2, is our blizzard. Where's the spikes that come out of the ground? Oh, I think I got rid of the thing that had that. Yeah, no more spikes coming out of the ground. We changed a weapon, and I believe that got rid of that ability. But you see she handles elites very nicely and all that. And again, this is on the World Tier 1. We're just, you know, fooling around, having a good time here. Here's our get out of jail free card. This one's always fun.
I'm not ready yet.
Take on the next mob. Great character for fighting mobs. Just stops them in their tracks, basically. Freezes them, makes them vulnerable. And we're doing alright. Boom, here's another one. Do a little Frost Nova. Here's another elite. We'll take him down. Constant damage from the AoE attack combined with a little zapping him with the ice. Wears him down pretty quick. I never really mess around with ice too much in games. I always found raw power, like in fire, to be much more fun and stuff like that. So I wanted to try something different this time around, which is why I did this. And I'm looking for the right equipment to make it better. Looking to change maybe a spell or two. You know, just to kind of tweak the character a little bit. I'm looking at my enchantments as well. I'm running 2 enchantments right now. Neither one I'm particularly in love with, although I do like the one that allows me to teleport when I do a dash, which is kind of cool.
The smaller growths are protecting the larger ones.
Ah. Oh, there's one up there. Okay. Is that gonna do it? There we go. Yeah, it's total mayhem, this character. There we go, we got ourselves another elite. quick work of him.
The light did not protect these knights from the vampires.
Again, that Frost Nova is a huge help. Alright, let's move into here. Another node around here somewhere? There it is.
I need time to do that.
So we'll have to find the ones in this area. That thing's awesome. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I need time to prepare that.
Ran into a little trouble there.
I need more time.
Damn it, we got frozen. There we go. Yes, we'll take a helm.
I need time to prepare that.
Alright, where are these nodes? Is there one down here?
The bloom leads beneath the cathedral. That must be the source.
Grab that helm. Maybe we've got another one outside we have to destroy first. We'll look.
I need more time.
Alright, maybe we gotta destroy this one over here. I love that. Ah, here's a node. A lot of elites in here.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, that little teleport he does by turning into the birds does make him a little more interesting. The battle.
I need more
Ah,
time.
frozen. No, 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 no. There we go. He's frozen. And he's dead. Alright, so what's next? Go down here. There we go. Leading with that is great. You can see why. Alright, let's find the other corruptions. Here's one.
I'm not ready yet.
Uh-oh, uh-oh, get out. Yep, more elites. Look at that.
I need time to do
Alright, I think we got another one over here somewhere, right?
I need time to
Two of them, it
prepare.
looks like. There we go. Get this guy wrecked. And there's one up there. And how do we get up there? Oh, looks like we gotta go this way. There we go. Yeah, we'll let those bats just come around. They don't do much damage. We'll lose him in the fallout anyway. There we go.
I need time to prepare that.
Alright, this guy's almost done. And done. You can see there's really no limit, for the most part, when we're in combat, to how many of those blizzards we can cast. They just keep going and going and going. Regenerating mana pretty quickly. Or regenerating it, I should say. And that's a huge help. Can I get this thing now? Nope.
I need time to prepare that.
What am I missing? Is it this one down here? Nope. Not yet. There's something else. Something else. Let's look at the map. This is where we started, I believe.
I need time to do that.
Aha! There we go. This is hopefully the last piece of corruption. Look at him run. It's not the last piece of corruption. Cool. Alright, well, there's got to be... Or is it the one that's in here? Hit the wrong button that time. Alright, let's see if it's the one in here.
I need time to do that.
Nope.
I'm not ready yet.
Oh, okay, we're able to kill the incubator. We'll go ahead and pop that off right now, make quick work of this guy.
I need more time.
Try and get him frozen again. Here we go. Is he gone? He's gone, so I guess the last thing now is down here. Right? Let's knock it out. We'll probably get another elite spawn in after this. Yeah? No? Ah, we can go down here. So here's where the true boss will be.
I'm not ready yet.
Alright, we'll try and get him vulnerable a little bit. Alright, he's vulnerable. No, you're not doing all that. Woohoo, got close to death there. Let's go ahead and pick this up. He's vulnerable again. Damn.
I need time to do that.
Alright, let's finish him off.
time
He's
to
done.
repair that. You will never harm another soul.
Okay, I guess that was a little overkill at the end there. But yeah, that's how she works. Now we can rekindle the shrine. And that will give us another town, basically. Oh, hello, treasure chest. Boy, she was something else there. So, hey, what's going on here? Am I frozen? Okay. Thought I was frozen for a second there. I'm like, wait a minute. This isn't good. So, yeah, we turned a bad place into a good place now. I thought we would have, like, vendors and stuff here, but I guess it doesn't always work out that way. Looks like it's just a safe place to chill out now. Alright, well, let's take a look at the skills, and whoa, it's not even a safe place. Alright, we're going to head back to town. And then we'll take a look at the skills and see what we bring to the table. Alright, so we'll work our way down the skill tree from the earliest stuff to the latest stuff. First off, we've got Frostbolt as our main basic attack. This is the one that requires no energy to use up or anything like that. Got 5 points into that. Also have the Enhanced Frostbolt, which adds 15% chance to explode on chilled enemies hitting surrounding enemies. Chance increased to 100% against frozen enemies. So, yeah, with all the frost damage and power we're unleashing, this is great. And then we've got Flickering Frostbolt, which makes frozen enemies vulnerable for 3 seconds, which is a huge help as well. We're relying on vulnerability in this build to weaken everybody and wear them down pretty quickly. It's particularly effective against the bosses. Like I said, this is not an OP character by any stretch of the imagination, but I am going to be tweaking it and trying to make it as powerful as possible because I'm enjoying the hell out of this build. Now we could switch that for this one that generates 4 mana when hitting chilled or frozen enemies, but I think we're okay in the mana department. We weren't really running out of it when casting Blizzard. It seemed like, for the most part we were able to keep Blizzards consistently going, so we're going to leave it at that. Now right here we've got our core skill, and we don't really use this, so I put a point into Ice Shards. That's basically the only one we have it there. We put it there to move this forward. I may switch it out to something else like Fireball, because I think that gives you a good enchantment effect. Yeah, when you kill an enemy, they explode in a fireball for 50% of its damage. So I think I'm going to do that, and we're going to make that the enchantment. Okay, and we got Devastation. Your maximum mana is increased by 9. We got 3 points into that, no biggie. Chain Lightning we have here. Yeah, that's also a decent little enchantment. I don't know. Your core skills deal 3% increased damage when cast above 50 mana. Since I'm not using them, I didn't really bother putting anything into that. And this one might be good, but I don't think it's really that worth it, so we're going to leave that alone. Moving on to defensive skills. I'm running with a Frost Nova, which I like for helping. It helps me out immensely when I get crowded. I do like to rush this character into the midst of battle, get right in the faces of the enemies, blast a Frost Nova out, and then start pounding away with blizzards. That seems to be pretty effective. So I've got 7 points into that. I got a couple boosted from armor and whatnot, so that's awesome. It unleashes a Torrent of Frost, freezing enemies around you for 3.18 seconds. Killing enemies frozen by Frost Nova reduces its cooldown by 1 second, up to 4 per cast. It doesn't have a huge cooldown period, so that's kind of nice to follow up with something else. It'll cool it down real quick and let me cast it again. Frost Nova makes enemies vulnerable for 4 seconds, increased to 6 seconds against bosses. That's huge. You see that a lot of times when I'm fighting a boss type character. I like to get right up in the face. I'm not a typical sorceress that's standing back casting spells and all that. I run up, blast them with a Frost Nova, and start pounding away with blizzards. I've also got 3 points in the Glass Canyon. It gives me 18% increased damage, but at the cost of 9% more damage taken. Not that big of a deal. And I've got Elemental Attunement, Lucky Hit. Critical strikes have up to a 15% chance to reset the cooldown of one of your defensive skills. So it's kind of nice because, doing defensive hits, we can reset that Frost Nova pretty quickly. It can only happen once every 10 seconds, but still, in the heat of a big battle, that allows me to cast quite a few Frost Novas in rapid succession. This comes from a point in one of my weapons or armor or something. Ice armor, don't really mess with it. Onto our conjuration skills, just like core, I don't really use anything in here. I have a point into Ice Blades. I may throw more in there later. It was just a placeholder, basically. And then there's Lightning Spear, which is from a item. I don't have anything in Conjuration Mastery because I don't use Conjuration. I'm not worried about my precision magic right now. Maybe later when I get more points, but for now, we're okay. Align the elements. You gain 1% damage reduction against elites for each second you have taken damage, from 1 up to 40%. That might be worthwhile. I got a couple other options there. Haven't really messed with any of them. We've got other things we wanted to work on. Mastery skills. So, this is our Blizzard, right? Mana cost 40. Lucky hit chance 34%. Summon a frigid blizzard that deals 3,299 damage and continually chills enemies for 18% over 8 seconds. The modifiers I've got: it deals 25% increased damage to frozen enemies. When cast above 50 mana, Blizzard's duration is increased by 4 seconds. So it lasts a while. It's powerful. I can cast it in rapid succession because we are regaining mana pretty quickly, which is awesome. This I'll be putting a third point into. Icy Veil. Your barriers have a 10% chance, or a 10% increased duration. I want to get that up to 15. The barrier helps out a lot of times, and I'll show you when it really helps out. Cold Front, we have a barrier active. You apply 24% more chill. And Lucky Hit Frost skills have up to a 9% chance to instantly freeze. So, again, freeze, chill, vulnerability. This is what we're going for here. Moving on to our ultimate skill. Our favorite ultimate skill is right here, Deep Freeze. It can only go up 1 rank. This is the one that when I go in there, it turns me into that block of ice and I just start pumping out tons and tons of damage. Encase yourself in ice, becoming immune for 4 seconds, continually dealing 484 to 591 damage, and chilling enemies for 14%. When Deep Freeze expires, it deals an additional 1,937 to 2,367 damage. Very, very powerful. Casting Deep Freeze again ends the effect early. I've done that by mistake, and that sucks. The modifiers: when Deep Freeze ends, gain 10% of your base life as a barrier for 6 seconds for each enemy you froze while it was active. When you jump into a lot of enemies, that's huge. It's a good way to jump into a big crowd, throw that out there, and then all of a sudden you've got a barrier for quite some time while you can do your other stuff and kill everybody off. When Deep Freeze ends, your non-ultimate cooldowns are reduced by 50%. This is also nice. I could go in there, do my Frost Nova, cast a couple Blizzards, hit this, and I can clear any room pretty much, within moderation, of course. Here we go with these 4 skills I have maxed out over here. Permafrost. Frost skills deal 15% increased damage to elites. Nice. You deal 9% increased damage to chilled enemies and 18% increased damage to frozen enemies, which most of our guys are going to be chilled or frozen. Lucky Hit cold damage against vulnerable enemies has up to a 20% chance to generate 15 mana. And you deal 12% increased cold damage to vulnerable enemies. So, again, it's all about the cold, all about dealing that damage using, against chilled enemies, vulnerable enemies, all that stuff. That's why I enjoy it, because it goes in there and it just wreaks total havoc. And last but not least, we'll go to our key passive. There's 2 to choose from. Avalanche. Lucky Hit. Your Frost skills have up to a 10% chance to make your next cast of Ice Shards, Frozen Orb, or Blizzard consume no mana and deal 40% more damage. Chance is doubled against vulnerable enemies. It's nice, but I like this one a lot better. Shatter. After freeze expires, enemies explode for 25% of the damage you dealt to them while frozen. So if you freeze enemies, a bunch of enemies at once using one of these area of effect spells that I use, they all get frozen. When the freeze expires on them, they start popping off like popcorn, and that causes quite a bit of damage. Now we're going to look at our enchantments right now. And I think I'm going to change one, actually. So we'll see. The two I have active are Teleport, which just evade is replaced with a short-range teleport on a 17-second cooldown. It's okay. And then I've got this one here. Frostbolt. Direct damage from skills applies up to 21% chill. So more chill damage, right? Or no, I'm sorry. What is this? Oh, no. These are ones that I have. Okay. So I'm thinking of putting this one in. When you kill an enemy, they explode in a fireball for 50% of its damage. That might be a good route to take. I was using this one here. Every 15 seconds a blizzard forms over you and follows you for 6 seconds, but wasn't that great. And I guess there's nothing for that one. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Let's take this fireball and we'll replace this with it for now. We'll add a little fire to the ice and see how it works out. I'm kind of curious to see what this looks like. So let's go ahead and get the hell out of town. Alright, so in here we should have ourselves a nice little mob. Most of these little cellars and tiny places have a decent little mob fight. Or a boss fight of some sort. Like an elite fight, I should say. So let's see what we got in here. There's a handful of guys. So we'll do the Frost Nova, then we'll do the big ice one, right, that kills everybody. I guess that's it. Ah, here comes the real fight. Alright, so now we can see the fire popping off. And I think, wow. I think this is way more effective. Alright, they kind of stuck me there for a minute. Yeah, that felt way more effective. Didn't it look more effective? It's kind of badass. So the Savina hideout, yeah. So those couple little minor changes really went a long way. Kind of funny to be shooting a fireball, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't really use that anyway in battle, so having it as a passive, you may as well. Alright, we'll go back to town, and we'll take a look at all the equipment. But first... yeah, that was awesome. But before we look at the equipment, we do have some Paragon points. We're level 52, working our way up to 53. So let me show you those Paragon points and how I've distributed them. So here's where it starts, the starting node. I went ahead and went to the left. So what I did is, as you make your way through the Paragon board, you're never going to be able to fill them all out, right? So I look at the rare node on each side and I say, which one do I want more? Do I want this one, Resilience, which gives me 4% maximum life and 4% resistant to all elements, or do I want this one that gives me 4% maximum life and 10% non-physical damage with a bonus of 10% more if I have 200 intelligence, which I did, but I got dumber. I actually had to change out a piece of equipment, which brought me back under it, but I'll be back over it real soon. So I chose that one. And here's the path I took. Intelligence, intelligence. Boom, here's 5% non-physical damage. Little maximum life. Non-physical damage again. Intelligence, willpower, dexterity, intelligence. Then I have to decide next, do I want this one? More non-physical damage and intelligence. It'll give me even more with dexterity, which I'm only 5 away from. And if I go this route, I won't get it, but there's other ways to get dexterity. And then there's this one over here. Oop, let's get on it. 4% resistance to all elements and 10 intelligence with another 4% if the requirements are met of willpower. So both of them give me the intelligence, which I really want. It'll be a lot easier to hit this dexterity. I like the non-physical damage, rather than the resistance to all elements. I'm trying to make this character deal more damage, and that's one way to do it. So that's what we're going to probably end up doing, is go in this direction. And as far as dexterity goes, I think I have a way. Willpower, intelligence. Oh, there's a dexterity there, so it's the one with the hands. Yes, after that I could throw one in there. That would give me the dexterity, but more than likely I'll pick it up in a item that has dexterity boost on it. So starting with our helmet and working our way down, this is what we've got for our adventurer's helm. I do have a nicer helmet that I'm looking to possibly trade out for it. I have to go over the different things that it can do. But as you can see here, it adds a lot of dexterity. A rank of lightning spear, we get that there. Crowd control duration goes up, and you take less damage from crowd controlled or vulnerable enemies. And because we do a lot of vulnerable status effects on creatures, that's why I got that in there. Our adventurer's tunic of the unwavering gives a little maximum life, 12% or 12.6% ultimate skill damage. That's that big ice block thing that we do. Some thorns. 11.2% frost skill damage, which is at the top of the range there. The legendary effect, taking direct damage, has a 5% chance to reset the cooldown of one of your defensive skills. So that's kind of cool. And I get a little bit of healing from my gems in there. Next off is the gloves. I'm going to be making a legendary pair of these soon. I'm having a hard time replacing these because look at what it has. Intelligence and dexterity, both over 30 points each. So I'm really struggling to not get rid of this thing. But we'll see. Adventurer's Pants of the Deflecting Barrier. And there's a... when injured, your potion also restores 13% resource. Gives strength, gives 9% to all stats, or 9 points. Dodge, damage reduction from distant enemies. When you have a barrier active, there's a 10% chance to ignore incoming direct damage from distant enemies. Which is good because she does like to get into the thick of things. But if I've got some archers out there picking away at me, this will help mitigate some of that damage. The shoes. 27 intelligence. There's a Frost Nova point right there. Dodge, willpower, gain 23% movement speed for 3 seconds after teleporting. And that also applies to the teleporting I do because of the enchantment I have. So that's why I have that. I have those boots. I kind of like that. I would like to upgrade these boots, but again, 27 intelligence, 31 willpower. That's... Moving on to our weapon, the Jade Great Staff of Control. 1060 damage per second, does extra damage to crowd-controlled enemies, 18% damage to burning enemies, 19.5 to chilled enemies, 34 to all stats. That was nice. I imprinted it with a 50% more damage to immobilized, stunned, or frozen enemies. And then it's got the critical strike to vulnerable enemies 2 times at 9% each. So you can see why I put that imprint on there, because we do so much with immobilized, stunned, or frozen enemies that it's kind of a no-brainer. Onto our amulet. Resistance to elements, 20%. That's solid. 12.4% slow duration reduction. 14.4 damage reduction from distant enemies. Again, that keeps us from getting picked apart. 19.6 damage for 4 seconds after killing an elite. That's kind of nice. And +1 rank of all defensive skills. You know, that's cool. Skills deal up to 23% increased damage based on your available primary resource when cast, receiving the maximum benefit when you have full primary resource. So that first blizzard I cast is always a little more powerful. We got a little extra armor from this as well. Going to the rings, we got a little fire resistance and poison resistance, 21.3% of each of those, 7.8% damage to crowd-controlled enemies, 14.3% critical strike damage, 13.6 damage to slowed enemies. There we go, we got crowd-controlled, slowed, and 10.4% damage over time. Now, distant enemies have an 8% chance to be stunned for 2 seconds when they hit you. You deal up to 28% increased damage to stunned enemies. So again, Distant enemies can be a problem, helps us from being picked apart too much. And last but not least, the Circle of the Umbral, 18.5 fire and poison, 3.9 barrier generation, 3.1 lucky hit chance, 21 life regeneration when not damaged recently, 9.8 damage to stunned enemies, and we restore one of our primary resource when we crowd control an enemy. That kind of sucks. We're going to look to replace that ring. There's nothing that keeps this ring on me for any good reason that I can think of. So our attack power is 1497. Get down here. Our armor is 3364 and our life is 1539. You can see our strength, intelligence, willpower, and dexterity are there. Now I want to go back and look at that other staff I had. I didn't throw it out yet. I didn't, break it down or sell it because I was kind of like, So as you can see, it's a little less damage that it does, right? If I switch it out, I'll lose the 18% to burning enemies, the 19% to chilled enemies, and the 34% to all stats. I'll lose all that. And I might switch back to this because look at what it does. Again, it's a little less damage, 26. That's not much. They both have 1 attack per second. The core skill damage, that's not a big deal because I don't really use that. The lucky hit, okay, 12.6% damage to frozen enemies, which is good. The 92 intelligence is very, very good. Attacking enemies with a basic skill increases the damage of your next core skill cast by 20. So yeah, that's not a good legendary effect on there. So I think we're going to kind of keep it as is for now. Now that ring I was thinking of replacing, this one's a possible contender. Gives me a little bit more lightning and shadow resistance, a little more fire, vulnerable damage goes up, damage to stun enemies goes up, damage to slowed enemies goes up. It has a frozen orb effect on it, which isn't great. I don't use that frozen orb, so again, that's kind of a waste. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm tweaking this character out. I'm trying to farm up some good weapons and armor that I can be happy with, find some legendary aspects that maybe I can imprint on a rare item and make it legendary, that sort of thing. I kind of screwed up a little bit as I was leveling this character up, and I didn't level, I got too attached to some of the equipment I had, so now I'm just starting to get rid of that attachment and get rid of some of these items. As you can see, I have a problem letting go because I left the staff in my box just in case, but I feel like, if I hold my own with this new stuff, one by one, I'll take those things, I'll pull the gems out of it, I'll scrap them, get the legendary parts, and move on and not look back, so we'll see. But let me know in the comments what you suggest to help out with this build, because I'm still kind of playing around with the skills a little bit. I'm going to move some around like I did with that fireball. Just kind of play around with those and see what will be most effective and what will make this character live longer and do more damage. So if you found this entertaining at all, please leave a like on the video. It's a huge help for me. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. I'm Captain Beefy. This is the Game Vault, and this has been a Diablo 4 video. I will see you guys next time. Until then, peace.